Did it say recording on your end too? Good.
Yes.
I just want to make sure. So what do you have on your end? Just done in Maryland?
Sidewalk law, in a PDF form yet. I don't see it on the village
So
website.
what we're doing is just setting at least for now, because we never came to full agreement on the code.
Oh, okay, so
It's just gonna be what it is for now is we're gonna be at least setting the reimbursement rates.
Okay.
So that we have to do that because it's gonna be,
In fact, we're taking out of the code so that we can set it by a schedule from here on out.
yeah, so we're just adjusting that one part. But when will that go up online?
Probably tomorrow morning when
Tomorrow.
everybody's back in.
But yeah, we figured it's gonna get warm. Well, hopefully it'll get warmer than not, soon. So we just wanted to set that stuff.
We can read it to her real quick. I mean, it's a paragraph, literally. I mean, so
You have in front of you.
I will find it real quick for you.
It traveled light today.
Fine. Okay, found it. And Marilyn, this is what we had agreed to basically a year ago, this specific paragraph, reimbursement for sidewalks. Whenever sidewalks are constructed on the streets of said village with the consent of the village clerk, excuse me, actually, let me go to the change. Whenever sidewalks are constructed, repaired and or replaced on the streets of said village with the consent of the DPW superintendent of approved material and of the width provided by law, the owner of the premises adjoining such walk who shall have constructed, repaired, and or replaced the same will be paid with approval of the Board of Trustees a reimbursement amount as set by resolution of the board from time to time. Receipts and bills of items of the cost thereof must accompany all claims for such payment.
It's 7 o'clock.
Yep.
Calling the meeting to order. Pledge first or call roll
Pledge
first?
first.
All right, pledge. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I had to remember which direction it was placed. All right, just to call roll. Let me start Terry's thing. Hold on.
Sure. I think you hold it right. Yep.
All right. Let me start mine just as a backup. All right. Calling roll for purposes of quorum. Trustee Baskin, Trustee Price Bush,
Here.
Trustee Raymond, Mayor Rossi,
Here.
and then Trustee Vendanza here. All right, we have a quorum. 3 of our folks are here tonight. We'll start by opening public comment number 1 for agenda items only for 3 minutes. Anyone in the room or online?
Liz, raise your hand here. I got you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, actually, don't think that was me. Try that again. I think they switched here because of the hand raise. Let's try that again. Okay, there we go. Sorry, Liz.
Liz, you can unmute yourself. Public comment.
Okay. Liz Cormos 89 Hyde. I'm wondering why this meeting was even necessary to happen. This last minute appeared to be last minute. You know, the agenda just went up this afternoon. Why this couldn't have waited until next week? There's nothing that needs to happen this immediately. We're a long way from the better weather where we have to worry about parks or sidewalks. That's one thing. And then why are you making modifications on the parking, on the sidewalk code after Carla, as I remember, said, you know, you shouldn't just make tiny changes and then, you know, do the rest later. I mean, changing a law is a, you know, pretty complicated process that requires approval from the county, et cetera. I think this is kind of ridiculous to be, you know, taking just the reimbursement out when there's so many other issues in the existing code. So that's why this meeting's happening. I'd like, you know, what's the urgency to have this meeting? And then, you know, why are you putting on the sidewalk law when it hasn't been, you even have a meeting, I think, scheduled on Thursday to discuss it. So why are you putting it up for public hearing at this point?
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Marilyn?
Yeah, so Marilyn Stevenson, 45 West High Street. I was just a little confused as to what the verbiage was. And so if I understand you correctly, you're just looking at setting the rate or the language for the rate for reimbursement or cost sharing for the sidewalks, and not looking at sidewalks as a total code issue and or a program as had been discussed previously. And so if you could just clarify when the language that the mayor read off will be available online. Appreciate that. And I'm assuming also on a second subject, item 4A, that the parks language did not change since the last trustees meeting. But if it did change, I would appreciate knowing where the current update to that language is relative to the village website.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Marilyn. Do we want to address that, Frank, right now before we get into?
Why don't we do it in discussion of the
Okay.
it's probably the best place for it. Also, we should note that there needs to be an additional lead agency motion to be made for sidewalks only, because Carla had recommended to do that tonight, to name the Village of Balsas Spa lead agency for seeker purposes.
Before the hearing motion, correct?
You could do it after. It doesn't
Okay.
matter the order, stuff like that.
Okay. Well, yeah, anyone else before we head out? Or we're all good? All right, we're gonna close the public meeting at 7:05. Excuse me, the regular public comment, excuse me, and we'll move into motions and resolutions for consideration and vote. May I have a motion to set a public hearing for proposed local law number 1 of 2024 to add section 150 parks to the village code for the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees on February 19th, 2024 at 7 p.m.
I'll make the motion.
Mary,
I'll second.
Frank. All in favor?
Well, hold on,
Aye.
let's
Oh.
discuss. Just so that we.
Discuss. I apologize. I always do that. Discussion, so we can answer some of Marilyn's questions.
Yes.
Sorry, y'all.
So after reviewing, and the code will go up on Tuesday as well. So we did just gotten finalization of the amendment on this weekend. I think it was sent by Carla late Friday. And so the only thing we asked Jen to do today was post the agenda online, it being the holiday. Appreciate her doing that for us. But it was basically just a change of wording with respect to ensuring that the board had validated or permitted the activity that was a concern with alcohol, and making sure that it cross-referenced the alcohol section. So 150, if my memory serves here, 150 dash 5D15, I think it was, has been amended in the way we were talking in the meeting, and then cross-referencing 150-6B, and stating essentially that, okay, if you have a for-profit event that is permitted, but it involves alcohol, now go to this other section of code and make sure that you follow those aspects of it as well. So you'll see that it was not an overly complex change, but we still want to be out of safety here, call it substantive for the purpose of doing another public hearing. Mary, why don't you raise what you had learned from the SLA law that you had looked at, actually, if you could, because I think I answered some of Marilyn's questions or concerns as well.
Yeah, for whatever area permit the applicant is submitting, they have to confine the alcohol sale consumption to that area, whether it's a tent or fenced-in area.
And additionally, they actually have to submit a 2-scale map of that as well. Any other discussion?
I think that's it. So,
Okay, all in favor?
aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion passes. May I have a motion to set a public hearing for proposed local law number 2 of 2024 to amend section 174-2 in chapter 174 streets and sidewalks for the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees on February 19th from 2024 at 7:05 p.m.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second it.
Thank you. Any discussion?
In the same light, just to be transparent about this, we had read it just before the meeting, so Marilyn could hear it, and she alluded to it. Essentially, this is the language that was approved by the board, at least in concept, a year ago during a special meeting, that takes the actual rate of the code out of, or rate in the code out of the code for reimbursement, and allows us to use a resolution methodology to change it, let's say, more frequently if we need to. It also embraces repairs, et cetera, and not just a straight installation, which was a concern for a lot of people that are trying to fix their sidewalks as to what that means or whether or not they would qualify for reimbursement. I believe the current reimbursement that was in the code was $2.50 per square foot, when the market rate right now is in the $12 to $13 for some people. And so this is going to allow us to go up to the maximum 50% allowed by New York State law. And the timing issue of this is because, unfortunately, it takes time for a law, after we get done with it, to go to the state, be approved, and then after it's approved is when we get to set the schedule. We can't set the schedule currently because it's not a law, and it won't be officially a law on the books until the state accepts it. So for folks that want to start getting their sidewalks done in the spring, this is necessary to move this a little faster at this point in time. And so kind of killing two birds with one stone, finishing parks and sidewalks gives us the ability to be ready for spring, which may spring in about a week and a half, it looks like on the weather map, with temperatures in the mid-50s. So it's kind of good timing to start thinking in that direction, hopefully. And then I say that and we'll get a blizzard sometime in late March or something.
Don't want that.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion passes. May I have a motion to declare the Village of Ballston Spa Board of Trustees as lead agency for the purposes of seeker relating to the Parks Code?
Let's do it this way, because Carla
Okay.
did give us a resolution designating the Village of
Oh,
Ballston
okay.
Spa as lead agency with respect to local law number 2 of 2024. And it calls for a motion in a second. I'll read the whereases, et cetera, for you if you'd like.
That's fine. Thank you.
Whereas the Village of Ballston Spa is considering the adoption of local law number 2 of 2024. Now, therefore, it is resolved, the Board of Trustees shall act as lead agency for this unlisted action under SECRA, SEQRA, and it is further resolved that the mayor be authorized to sign any and all documents associated with the environmental review regarding the adoption of local law number 2 of 2024 for the Village of Ballston Spa, New York, pursuant to Part 617 of the State Environmental Quality Review Act. at this point, we would need a motion to pass this in a second.
All right, may I please have a motion for that resolution?
I'll make the motion.
May I have a second?
I will second it.
All right, thank you. And this is a roll call, so I will go through that.
Just offer any
Trustee-
discussion on it real quick one more time, just to be
Oh,
official.
discussion, yeah, I'm so sorry, everyone.
And this is
any
just
discussion?
necessary for legal purposes so that we can give a negative declaration if that is what it is next week. So
Mhm. All right, roll call, trustee Baskin absent, trustee Price Bush,
Yes.
trustee Raymond absent, trustee Vendanza, yes, Mayor Rossi.
yes,
All right, the resolution passes. There's no other business before us tonight. And I'd like a motion to adjourn at 7:13 PM.
I'll make that motion.
I will second it. I just will discuss. You're doing a great job in my absence. Can't wait to get back though to see everybody. I miss all you.
It'll be great to have you back.
You.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well, any opposed? No one. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night.
Night. Bye,
Very
everyone.
good.
See you soon.
Bye.
Good night.